Hi class, in this module we're going to be taking a look at addition and subtraction of fractions. Now, the first set of problems, they basically want us to do the addition by looking at shapes. And here's the basic idea. So let me use a different color. Let me use red. So in this case, they want us to represent 2/5. So this shape is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2/5, it's going to be basically 2 of these shaded, and we're going to be adding them to a third one. I'm just going to add this one, and this is going to be equivalent to putting the shaded pieces together. So in this case, a total of 3 of these are shaded, and if we were to be doing this without the actual shapes here, we would have just added those 2 fractions. So this will just be 2 plus 1 in their fifths, or the answer would be 3/5. Let me fix the 5. And that's our final answer. Basically a visual representation of the addition, which in this case, it represents a total of 3 pieces of 5. Let's take a look at the second one. And in the second one, you're looking at 3/8. So what I'm going to do is 1, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And then we're going to do another 3. So this will be 1, 2, and 3. We're adding those 2. So putting them together, it's actually going to give us, all of these shapes throughout, which actually represent, so let me just rewrite it. This is going to be a total of 6/8. Now remember that 6/8 reduces. This will be 3 times 2 and then 4 times 2. And you can cancel the 2's. And in this situation, your final answer is in fact 6/8, but this reduces to 3/4. All of your answers need to be expressed in lowest terms. However, because of the shapes, I'm going to box both of these in. And notice that if you were to be looking at, pieces of 4, this will be a total of 3. So that would account for this area here. If you were to do pieces of 4 pieces, and you consider this 1, this one 2, and technically that would be 3. So the value of 6/8 represents 3/4. And once again, let me just display the previous problem. The basic idea here is to illustrate the addition of fractions, but with shapes. Now, notice the next problem. And if you compare the first problems, we have the same denominator, which is 8s. On the next problem, these 2 fractions give us a minor problem, and here the idea is that, we technically don't have a common denominator, and the idea within the common denominator is that it's just easier in order to compare pieces that we have the same pieces. So in this case, we're looking at an LCD. Now, for this particular problem, it would be just better if we see all the pieces as equal, and in this case we're expressing the halves as fourths. So all I'm going to do is just basically draw a line, and then 1/2, it's actually going to represent 2/4. So this is basically 2/4 plus 1/4, and I'm just going to shade this one here, and you can see that in this case, the total sum, it's going to be 3/4. So in terms of the shading, we're just shading a total of 3. So if we would have done it the other way, we would have just said, the LCD is equal to 4, and then express the first fraction as fourths by multiplying it times 2. Which will give us the 2/4. So the basic idea of the LCD is that you have to find a common unit so that you're able to add the fractions. In this case, it's easier to visualize how the 1/2 or the halves didn't really match with the fourths. So in that case, it was just easier to make everything into fourths. That's actually it for this problem. As I stated before, they wanted us to do the shading and express the sum by coloring the shapes so that we see the visual representation of the addition.